Hi, I'm Rotary Swing instructor Chris Tyler. In today's video, we're going to be discussing a very touchy subject, and that's called the shank. I'm going to teach you guys a very bulletproof game plan that's going to help you overcome those shanks once and for all. I know how embarrassing they can be. I've actually struggled with it myself in the past. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a very detailed process that's going to help you overcome those things and never have to battle them again. I'm going to show you guys how to identify what kind of shank you have. I'm going to show you guys how to correct it. And I'm going to show you guys two great drills that are going to help you never shank the golf ball again. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in step one of this corrective process, we're actually going to head indoors and I'm going to load up a couple of model swings in our analyzer. I'm going to show you guys how to evaluate your own golf swing so you can determine what kind of shank you have, so you know which part of the corrective process that we're going to work on today that you need to focus on most. So let's go ahead and head indoors now, and I'll show you guys a great way to analyze your own golf swings. Okay, so now that we're indoors, I'm going to show you guys how to evaluate what kind of shank you have, because believe it or not, there are actually two different ways to shank the golf ball. There's a shank coming more from the inside out, and then there's a shank from being more out to in or over the top. And what I've done here is I've drawn two really important lines for you to use when doing some self-analysis here. Okay, this is a line up from the hosel of the golf club through the base of the elbow. You can see that I extended all the way up through here. This is, you're going to see a lot of different ways to draw plane lines, but we use the elbow plane because this is going to be representative of where we want the club head to be on and the downward move. This other line is also a very important line to help you understand where your shank is coming from. This is what we call the right knee line. This is just a line down from the front of the knee here from a down the line perspective. And you can use any sort of self-analysis tool. And if you've been to our website, we have a self-analysis tool where you can actually load swings of your own in here and compare them to against a lot of pros and do some self-diagnosis. So what we're going to be looking for here, we're going to go ahead and load up to the top here. And if you notice on your downward move, okay, so you can see the club head is actually on the plane line here. If you notice that your club is starting to fall underneath this plane line and is being delivered more from the inside out, you are also going to notice that your right knee is going to start to bust through this line at the delivery point of the golf swing. Okay, so that's really important for you to be able to watch. That's why I draw that right knee line, because that can be a contributing factor to what can be causing you to get too far from the inside. As you get too much trail side push, that can bring the hips forward, and in turn that can cause your spine to lean away. But that stuff's not overly important for you to understand at this point. It's just better for you to understand where the club is being delivered from. Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, if you've noticed that your club is way above this plane line, is now working more from out to in, so you'd see your path, your club would work out to in and quickly to the left, that would be more of an over-the-top kind of shank, and those can be equally as frustrating as shanks from the inside. We tend to see more shanks come more from the inside, so you want to pay close attention to these drills when we start to outline them. All right, so make sure that you use some self-analysis. If you don't have any access to a self-analysis tool, there's lots of them out there, but if you don't have access, then have somebody watch you and say, okay, is my club coming more from the inside or is it coming more from over the top? And you'll be able to better determine what sort of drill you're going to want to use as we get further into this video. Okay, so let's head back out to the range. I'm going to teach you guys some great drills here that are going to help you overcome this nagging problem once and for all, and I promise you, you'll never have to deal with it again. Okay, so now that we've looked at how to identify what kind of shank you have, whether it be from over the top or way inside the line, I want to talk to you guys about how to train your release to get some gradual club face rotation. We want the club face to be rotating at a constant rate. We don't want to have it accelerating really quickly through the hitting area. We don't want to have it really kind of slowing down like we're hanging on to it. And whether you swing from over the top or you swing from inside the line, this is a great drill that you cannot do enough of, I promise you. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to demonstrate this for you. I'm going to stand very narrow, okay, about 6 to 8 inches apart here. I'm going to set up with most of my weight on my lead side. I'm not going to allow my weight to shift at this point. We're trying to isolate things. We're trying to focus on just getting some gradual rotation to this club face down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually swing my arm out with just my left hand on the club because I'm right-handed. And my checkpoint here is that my club shaft is parallel to the ground, okay? And my watch or my glove logo is facing out in front of me. We don't want it up in the air. We don't want it down at the ground. We want the glove logo or your watch facing back out in front of you. And as we start to let our arms swing through, we want to think of our shoulder as a pivot point. Okay, we don't want to try to pull the arm through the hitting area. We don't want to push the shaft down into the ground with a thumb. So you can actually lift your thumb up off the shaft and hold with just the back 3 fingers. okay? And what you're gonna be looking for on the opposite side over here is that now my glove logo is facing behind me. It's not up in the air, it's not down at the ground. So I want you to do several thousand reps of this, okay? Even if you're not practicing on the range or you're on the golf course, I want you to focus on doing a lot of reps of this. Keep it you don't need to have a lot of speed in this. You can actually start to hit some golf shots like this. You'll notice that you get a lot of good compression on it. You want to eliminate a lot of tension in the wrist and the forearm. So make sure that the arm is just swinging gradually underneath the shoulder. Checkpoints are club shaft parallel to the ground, glove logo out in front of you, let the arm swing, glove logo behind me, club shaft parallel to the ground. Do tons of reps of this. This is going to help you get a good gradual club face rotation no matter what kind of shank you have. Okay, so now that we've worked through the process of identifying what kind of shank you have, and we've started to retrain our release where we're starting to get some gradual club face rotation, I want to show you guys a couple of drills that are going to help you overcome your paths now, because now we've worked on the face, getting some of that rotation to it. Now it's time to correct that path and start hitting the golf ball really straight and really solid. So this first drill is going to be geared to those of you players that I talked about swinging more from the inside. And what I want you to do is I want you to set up an alignment stick down here on the ground. And our goal when we're making golf swings, I don't want you to make big full swings at first, okay? I want to start from a very controlled environment where we're basically swinging maybe chest height to chest height. That's a good place to start. And what your goal is when you start to hit shots, you don't want your right knee to move in front of this line. So you can use this as kind of a reference point down on the ground. So this will look like when you start to hit shots. So you can see I hit that golf ball really solid. Now that I've trained my release, it flies nice and straight. Again, I'm not going for distance at this point. I'm going to make sure that I hit the golf ball nice and solid. So try this out. If you've been shanking the golf ball from the inside, stand right up on that alignment stick and make sure that your right knee down in the hitting area doesn't go in front of that. That'll help you get more down the line and certainly not allow you to shank the golf ball anymore. Okay, everyone, stay with me. I know we're almost home here. I know this is one of those really uncomfortable topics for a lot of us to talk about. And believe me, it's even hard for me to instruct it because, again, like I started, I know how frustrating this process can be. But now we're going to focus on those players that swing more from over the top. And I showed you guys what that looks like inside. When you're swinging the club more from over the top, we've got to work on correcting your path and getting more of an in to out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our normal stance width, okay? Normal stance width here. And when I get myself set up, I want to go ahead and just drop my right foot back. Okay, we're going to bring it straight back, and we're going to still assume that we have the same amount of width that we had if my feet were together. But I want to keep both feet really flat on the ground. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make several swings keeping both feet really flat. Okay, we don't want to come up on our toes because that's going to start to create a lot of pushing movement, and that's going to help aid the club getting over the top. So the goal here is to keep both feet flat. Okay, and you can see now I'm starting to hit the golf ball really straight. So this is going to help you develop more of an in to out path, and then you can start to slowly bring your foot forward, bring it forward, and bring it all the way up to the line as you start to get further into the drill, and you'll be having a much better path with a much better trained release. Okay guys, so now that you've seen how to correct the shanks, identify the shanks, correct the shanks, I want you guys to get out there and put this to use. You won't have to worry about shanking the golf ball any longer. Take your time, go through the processes. Don't make big swings at first. You got to start from a very slow, controlled environment and then slowly start to ramp your speed up, and you're going to be well on your way to playing some of your best golf.